This is the side of operations people don't see. It's not just about the end result. It's early mornings, late nights, tough conversations, and decisions that don't have easy answers. It's what it actually takes to build something that lasts. Hosted by Coach Kent and Amy, this is where behind-the-scenes operations meets practical ownership, where we talk about the systems, the standards, the mistakes, and the lessons behind being entrepreneurs. No fluff, no highlight reel, just the work behind the work. This is Iron Ops.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Iron Operations. I'm Amy Tipper, and today's episode is a special one because Kent, Carly, and I, and 9 other people are in full-on preparation mode to head to San Jose for the 2026 CrossFit Games. This marks our 3rd year in a row attending together, and honestly, this hype hits a little bit differently this time around. In this episode, we're sitting down to break everything we know about the event so far. We're looking at the workout programming that's been released, looking at the timeline of these events, and also chatting about what it's really like to experience these games live and in person. We're taking a trip down memory lane to talk about some of the history of the CrossFit Games, returning to its California roots, and Kent also shares his story when he got to visit the legendary CrossFit Ranch. Whether you're also heading to the games or just watching from home, this is a great conversation to listen to. So grab your coffee, lock in, and let the pre-games breakdown begin. Welcome back to another episode of Iron Operations. We're back in the studio talking after a little bit of a break, but how's it been going? How has it been at the gym? We're going to talk a lot about what's coming up this week, but how has this last few weeks been with you at the gym?
That's good. I've been in a permanent state catch up since like January to the point of like implosion. And there's just things I'm usually ahead on and I just cannot get ahead. So I was down like an employee for some health stuff for a while, a full-time one. And then I was, collectively keeping afloat with help, of course. And then as the classic came up, they're back to work, but not like full capacity yet. But I'm also still behind. And then classic was just like an avalanche of work. And then I'm still not quite caught up. Like just this basic day-to-day stuff in my inbox. I'm just not happy with where I every day in terms of my inbox zero mission. But
I'm also a zero inboxer, and so I definitely appreciate that struggle. But I feel like when you run such a large event like that, so I'm also just coming off an air show weekend. I worked the Cold Lake Air Show, and it really is just like, it's all consuming to get one task done or something like that during when it's just not either not a priority or you have to focus on the priority or there's something going on all the time. So I definitely understand that, but it helps when you love what you do, right?
yeah, I know it's definitely my own choice and everything. I just don't like being behind on certain things, but where I feel like I'm letting other people down because I'm not on top of things, but there's certain things you just have to triage. And there's some stuff I know I need to get to, but I can't get to it as fast as I want. Or yeah, it's super annoying. But one day I'll be back.
On top. And then you just had your Burgener course this weekend. I saw the picture of that. It looked like it was successful and everybody had some PRs and good times. Any highlights from that?
Yeah, I know it's level 2 to build on level 1, just like a fun for some lifting and all and just things in and outs of coaching, but obviously it revolves around the Olympic lifts. And it's cool because it was like a little bit of like I had to convince them that we could host a level 1 last year after I did the level 1 in Everett the year before. And they're like, yeah, we'll try, but don't get your hopes up if you don't get enough people because your city doesn't really check a lot of the boxes of what we look for hosting. They were surprised last year and we had like 22 people and we had 25 this time. And I think the minimum was about 7 or 8. So Cody, the coach, was joking, like we're in the middle of nowhere and like all this checklist of stuff that doesn't hit any of the checklists. But then 2 years in a row, we knocked it out of the park. Because if you look at some of the older photos on their account when they do like the group course photo, I've seen some like in Calgary and Vancouver and all over the States, and they only have 7 or 8 people attending. So we're crushing that.
I feel like that just adds to the fuel of like how epic of a gym you have and that there's people really into fitness and really into CrossFit and just the eliteness of it. Not eliteness, but continuing to improve and evolve and all that stuff like that. So I feel like that's just a really great track record for you guys to continue to host events like that. So that's sweet. Well, this week we're meeting together in Calgary and then down to San Francisco on Thursday to go to the CrossFit Games 2026. And I'm very excited. This is our third trip together. I feel like once you can find a group, you can kind of travel well together. It makes travel that much easier. As I'm sure some people realize, when you travel together, sometimes it can be a horrible experience. But we travel pretty good together with Carly as well. And yeah, I'm excited. I've never been really to this area. I've driven through it here and there, but I'm excited to check out the area. Have you been to that area though for sport?
Yeah, a couple times for San Francisco and San Jose for the first time in January. Are you just teeing me up here, or you actually forgot I went there?
I actually forgot you went there until you just started talking about it.
I thought you're trying to see up like a. Well, actually,
But as a question, like, I guess I didn't realize it was in the SAP Center. Is it the SAP Center or the SAP Center? What's the proper terminology?
SAP, but it's Silicon Valley area, so it must be some kind of.
Gotcha. I didn't realize that was actually where it's going to be, where the San Jose Sharks play. So I did see a few like sneak peek videos, and it looks like they did have the upper kind of bowl blacked out or like covered, so that it's still going to be a fairly like intimate environment. Because the last 2 years that it's been in much smaller kind of arenas ish, right? It hasn't been in like massive places. So
No, those last two arenas would be similar. They're like hockey size. They're not football size, right? If you look at the capacity of the Fort Worth one, I think it was a little bit smaller because they weren't hosting like NHL or anything, but I forget what it was. But I imagine the reason they're blacking out part of that is because when they put that Zeus rig up, if you would sit on like the end zone end, you wouldn't really be able to see anything. So they'd probably block it out. Like they do that with concerts sometimes too. If there's stages on one side.
gotcha.
I did go to a San Jose Sharks game in January for the first time there, a chance, and the Sharks game was good. That arena is relatively old though, even though it's in like Silicon Valley. You think it'd be a little bit more modern. I scored some like box suite tickets, not box, but like a suite where you get like the premier under the hallway, access to like the all you can eat food and stuff, just on StubHub last second for the hockey game. But the food in the regular concourse I thought was a little underwhelming for like NHL arenas for some of them that I've been to. Still sick. It was a really good hockey arena. And San Jose and San Francisco, it's so easy to get around, easy for us to travel to, and should be a pretty sick experience overall.
That just made me think of when we were in New York, and I can't remember the arena that it was in, but they actually like replaced some of the food with healthier food options because it's like a fitness event, right? And it wasn't just like French fries and burgers and deep fried stuff that you would find at a normal hockey kind of game. I thought it was cool that they actually made the effort to put out some healthier options because they knew lots of people would be looking for that. So that was a cool aspect of a large scale event that they thought about. So that will be fun and exciting. But we talked about this the last time. That's where you shared some of the clips, right? From the classic was that the San Jose Sharks opening kind of sequence that you shared some film of?
No, I will share. I'll just share it anyway.
Where is that from?
The other clip that I shared was from Anaheim, California. That was in April.
Sorry.
But like I said in that episode, I always like going early to all these games to see like their pregame routine, presentation, showmanship.
Mm-hmm.
So some are better than others. I think since I was a kid for a long time, the Sharks have this like this shark mouth thing that the players come out of. You see it there?
Yeah, that's cool.
So this is like where the tunnel is for the players' benches is. So they come out of that, and then they got some good music and stuff. The arena is like, it's nothing cutting edge because it's been around for a while, like with the screens and stuff. But they got a good vibe in there, and so then they lifted it out from the rafters. I wonder if it'll still be hanging there for the CrossFit Games. Probably not. But that's where I sat. Pretty good spot.
That's pretty sweet. Yeah.
The videos aren't just playing, but as always, I'm there to soak all that in. But it was Anaheim Ducks in April that had pretty sick opening with the EDM music and stuff. That was banging for a while. These guys, I think, played Seek and Destroy by Metallica, I want to say, as their main like skate out song. I think it's like a classic there. It was cool. I would have to sit down and rank like the best intros I remember to worst. Dallas Stars are sick actually too, because I pretty much have all these like clips stored on my phone from it's like 2015, 16 when I started making more. I have a little document of every time I went to a game. So pretty sweet.
Totally. Yeah, you should do some research on that and have some stuff ready, and we should go through that. But I wonder if also, because CrossFit has had this theme in the last year or two of kind of like going back to its roots, like garage gym style, I wonder if they're going to incorporate some of that. I don't remember in any of the arenas them ever turning off the lights or turning the lights down in the crowd area. I don't know if you remember, but I wonder if they'll kind of utilize some more of that like sports games intro energy for some of the stuff, because I think that'd be really cool. And I don't know why they don't do kind of like a garage gym highlight like on the competition floor kind of thing. But
I remember that like it was all solemn in 2024, but there was a cool like Brent was going in first in that last event, if you remember. Well, the last event that was the same thing twice in a row, and they did like a pretty cool like walkout, and he was the first place going in to do that. But I imagine maybe they would have had maybe more of a presentation.
That year was often different just based on the atmosphere and stuff like that for sure. But
oh yeah, it was so weird.
But even in New York, I don't remember them doing that kind of like they definitely did an intro with announcers and stuff like that. And I saw your post about is it Ryan, your announcer from the Classic?
Yeah.
That he's going to be going at the games this next year too?
Yeah, the age groups and stuff, not the individuals yet, but still pretty cool adventure for him. So yeah, I don't know if they would do a little bit more showcasing like that or not. I didn't watch World Fitness Project really, but I feel like the clips that I saw, they do a little bit more stuff like that, like make it like a cool event. Did you ever watch ISL, like the International Swimming League, when it was going on?
Mm-mm.
You heard of it though or no?
I don't think so.
It was like a pre-COVID, it was like Middle Eastern oil kind of Saudi money funded like professional swimming league. And you should just, once we're done talking, you should go just YouTube a little bit. It was sick. It was a nice platform for them to kind of like create personalities and make some money outside. You could be sponsored by Arena or Speedo and stuff. There was like a Toronto Titans team or something, and there was like a LA team in London. And then there's some of the Canadian Olympians that were on there. And then they would do these dual meet cool things with like unique point styles and stuff. They would walk out to like cool like screens and smoke and all that. And the short course meters too, because the problem with Olympic sports is that they're really only a big deal every 4 years, not even yearly, really, right? I mean, they have the World Championships, but it's not quite.
Well, and they have different nationals and stuff, but yeah, you're right. There's not really anything like as a regular competitive kind of schedule on a world stage.
COVID kind of derailed it. It was too bad. It'd be nice for them to get it back going again because of this nice, meaningful. I mean, the swimmers could get some money, so they took it seriously and went fast. They're breaking a world record short course. And I liked it because it put some energy or prestige into short course swimming too.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than just like long course and every 4 years is the only thing that matters.
What do you mean? Long course is the best.
It's definitely a cool part of it, but I don't think it's the only thing you should care about every 4 years for an entire country to rally around that. Like, there's individual sports, they can do stuff like these team sports, I think can. Like, I mean, I can. I shut the lights off and got a smoke machine, so come on.
As side note and just sports related news, I don't know if you saw, but Paula Finlay just won. She did her very first ever full distance Ironman, and she won first place, and she punched her ticket to Kona, and she set a course record in Lake Placid.
8 hours or something, 8.5 hours.
Yeah, it was very sweet. And you swam with her or close in correlation with her at U of A, right?
Yeah, she swam at U of A, overlapped with me. I swam in her lane for a while, actually. Because you know how university teams have like your lanes that you're like kind of get in. It's like 5 or 6 of you that are like, we're lane 3. So I was in there for a while with her. Her triathlon was priority at the time, but it was like quickly becoming a huge thing. And then she has a pretty big YouTube account with like pretty good following and brand that she's done, actually.
Yeah,
cool.
They've really taken it and built as something. I know lots of other triathletes, I think, have that in their own way, their own branding, because it is such like an individual sport that way too. But yeah, her and her husband has done a really good job making a brand out of it, which is cool to see them be able to have an aspect of that as a brand and business as part of their sport. Okay, got off track a little bit, but getting back to San Jose. So you, on your trip there in the spring in January, you also used the CrossFit affiliate map and
had a pretty cool experience there.
Yeah, it was. So I went there for a sports trip, and my mom was supposed to go with me, but she got sick like right before. And it was like literally the morning of, I was already in the Kamloops airport, and I was going to meet her in Calgary and go. So like, I'll just go by myself, I guess. And then I pre-booked it weeks before to see if I could land on an NFL playoff game, which didn't work out, but there's still hockey and basketball backups anyways. So we went to a San Jose Sharks game and a San Francisco Warriors game. And then I was going to go to another Sharks game or drive up to Sacramento for another NBA game. But prior to the weekend, I filled in when you go in the CrossFit affiliate map, you can find affiliates everywhere. And that's sometimes how I utilize drop-ins. And then I saw CrossFit Ranch on there south of San Jose. I'm like, is that the ranch? Clicked on it. It was. Filled out the drop-in thing. And I just gave some context on who I was, and I understood what the ranch was. I was just interested if they actually entertained drop-ins. And then like later that day, like Friday, I think, I got an email back. It was like, hey, Kent, can you come by on Sunday, Dave, from Dave Castro? So I was like, oh, it's a real deal. So then I just made my schedule work on Sunday to come by on Sunday afternoon after he confirmed with me. I can imagine his inbox is insane. And then just because I kind of followed CrossFit for so long, even when I really wasn't doing it that much as a swimmer and stuff, or when I was lost, I'm well aware what the ranch is and where it is and when it's hosted. So it was like an hour south of San Jose and drove down there. And then I just pulled up to the address on the thing. And Dave was there like selling like a gun or something to a friend of his. And he was very gracious with his time because I know he can come across as a little bit, I don't know what the word would be to describe his personality online sometimes, which I think is kind of unfair on when people criticize his job. I mean, the guy has thick skin with a lot of the stuff that he has to hear and deal with. I admire his thick skin for that because I can be pretty sensitive myself. I do like Dave, and I think he's done a lot for the sport and the fitness methodology with obvious mistakes and flaws like anything does with anyone. But in person, he was very gracious and friendly, and he like was kind of excited to show me around. He didn't like push me out the door or anything. He was like very excited to show me the hopper, and I don't think he didn't assume I knew anything. So he was explaining on what things were, and I was well aware of things that had happened there and certain workouts and whatever, and some signs and things like that. So I checked out all the inside, showed me around outside, and he had to go. So he lives like down the road from there. Like his family owns that ranch, and his brother lives up in the hills somewhere. And then he let me he had to lock the building up, but he's like, yeah, just walk up there. You can go for a hike on the epic famous hill. And there's still some like equipment at that time from the 2020 CrossFit Games, the online one, when there was like 5 people there, like the pull-up bar rig. So they're redoing some of that stuff that's coming up. And I just walked up, took a bunch of pictures. I'd show a few actually. And it was a very cool bucket list experience that I just kind of got lucky on. Like he says he doesn't usually respond to them or he just doesn't have the time. So he doesn't respond because he's a busy dude. And they're just freak chance that I got to do that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So this is inside the ranch. That's the hopper there. And he let you take a video. And he's like, you can take whatever videos or photos you want. It's all good. And then this was January, so there wasn't any like proprietary stuff. But I remember there was a funny little rumor at my gym because I had been programming like med ball box step overs or something. There's like 2 things that I had programmed in classes that were really mirrored to like the open workouts that had come out the first 2 weeks, just by chance. And then I just created a fake rumor at the gym that I saw stuff on the whiteboard, which was not true at all. I just told people that so they would believe me. Something silly. And then there's an old leaderboard. Some Canadian athletes from like that invitational thing. There's like the pegboard that they practice on.
Mm-hmm.
Controversial style. And there's all the testing stuff. And then that's us outside. So the pull-up rig, if you ever watched like the 2007 or 2008 CrossFit Games, they use that.
Yeah.
There's a movie called Every Second Counts. And what they did in 2008 was the second year. It was still just like you shine up and go. There's a lot of people the second year. And they did every workout, so it was for time. and then your total time for the weekend with your score. So if there's like, I don't know, 8 events, I forget the total, and your overall time was like 17:11 or something.
Mm-hmm.
That was your score. And what they did for the final workout was the top 10 or whatever the top people were, they knew what their elapsed time was up to that point, and then they stagger started. So the person in first place got to start their last workout. It's like a grace, like clean and jerk, but I think it had to be squat clean for time. And then the people in second were like, whatever, 18 seconds behind on the leaderboard. They would start 18 seconds late. So then whoever won that workout in real time would win the whole CrossFit Games.
Wow, that's cool.
So yeah, it's not like a truly edited quality CrossFit Games video like they have now. It was like the first one they did. So they had a couple characters in it, like that they focus on. Like one's James Fitzgerald from Calgary, who had won the year before. So they spent some time like filming up in Calgary. And then there's like the view from the top of the hill. And then there's that pull-up rig. And then that documentary, there's a guy named John Wellborn. He was in it, who was in NFL at the time. He owns like Power Athlete, like CrossFit Football. He's running for a while. I used to follow his stuff. It's funny because like the guy that they didn't really have like any film on the entire weekend, Jason Khalipa, ends up winning that final event and wins the CrossFit Games in 2008. There's like no like footage of him at all, but it comes down to like they're filming all these other guys that I thought were going to win. And then, lane 9 or Jason Khalipa, fittest man on earth or whatever they did. But it's cool, like retroactive watch. I think you can find it on Amazon Prime or something. But it was before like the fittest on earth. That was the first one they did. And I remember we watched it a long time ago. And there's some cool people on those rickety pull-up bars doing whatever they're doing. So they're doing some of that nostalgic stuff that weekend for this. But that's
cool.
Very cool visit. And then Dave shout me out on the week in review, like 2 weeks in a row, actually. Because he kind of just mentioned me the first time. And then I commented and thanked him for his time and what the experience was. And then he kind of went into it a little bit longer the second week and read my name and stuff. And he had joked that there's like a mountain lion up there. Not joke, but it was a possibility. Like they never actually seen any attacks, but it's just something they're aware of in that area. Kind of like bears in Canmore, right? When you run out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I said something about like not seeing any mountain lions, and he went out. He spoke about that. It's definitely cool. Like as far as like CrossFit goes and changing people's lives, I think I'd be in a pretty high percentile for that.
Mm-hmm.
And also like understanding, not just being a fanboy, but understanding the history and the context of like Dave was involved with CrossFit on like a seminar trainer level, but to create like, the sport of it, he was really kind of a pioneer at that. And it was really just like this backyard barbecue in 2007, trying to organize these guys in the comment section of CrossFit.com that were these fire breathers. And then if you look at what it's turned into with all these media companies, YouTubers and stuff that like mine the content of just like the sport side of it, not even really the CrossFit methodology side and these events. And like, you know, they've been on ESPN and all these crazy things started out at this backyard. And it's pretty cool what it's evolved to. Because as you build your business, and you're like this too with stuff that you've been involved with air shows and stuff, you start small and it grows into something cool. But I haven't grown an entire like national sport that affects thousands and thousands of people. But, you know, it's really where he started from, is a pretty small scale. And just cool to see it. It's like the Vatican of the sport of CrossFit.
Yeah. And I think you're right, is that the things that really succeed over time and for a long period of time is when you have a person that doesn't matter what it is, but they believe in the end result or they believe in what it could be. And I think that's kind of the prime example. You know, I don't doubt that he had the opinion that he's like, this could be a worldwide thing and we could have the best people compete against, you know, the entire world and stuff like that. But you're right, of not just being a fanboy. You have the memory of pretty much every event in the CrossFit Games for I don't know how many years. So you truly understand what went down.
Early on, I wasn't really even doing it. I was just swimming, right? But we did it in the summers. And then there's a gym owner from Lethbridge that made it twice early on. And then still thought it was cool. And once Brent got like right in there, it's pretty easy to follow that. What's made it more interesting to me over the years is as a gym owner. And I'm not, as I've said many times before, I'm not like a competitive gym owner. Like I intentionally try to make sure it's welcome for everyone, but the competitive outlet's cool because it creates goal setting and experiences for people when you can sign up for things. I don't care about ranking people in my gym is the best, but you can unlock some experiences and qualify for those things or just sign up for them. That sparks my interest more. So creating events and designing workouts and figuring out logistics of events and experiences. From a CrossFit Games standpoint, I don't know how much they care about experience, when they're doing 20 workouts for the athlete. But there's been times, it's been a little bit muted the last couple of years for obvious reasons, where the experience and the spectacle of it became pretty cool when they have the football field and the snakes and or snails and all these crazy implements and there's like some spectacle. So that's always interested me. And did you know that Dave has a book? It's called Constructing the CrossFit Games. You can get it on Amazon. You'd have to be like a CrossFit kind of loser to like it because it's not really a traditional book. I don't even like books most. It's like a notebook, really, like a running diary of like the 2017 season. So that was the first year in Madison and Brent's second year at the games. And it's just like this diary of like testing workouts, what he's doing day to day, regionals, open, games, logistics, testing this, testing that. So it's pretty cool to see how they evolve. So it is a cool read if you are into this stuff. I think you'd like it. If you read it, you talk about the regionals workouts, for example, what they're doing in testing, and then you go watch the YouTube, the regionals workouts, and how they actually played out. And then back to the games workouts day by day to see that. So that jersey that I have of Brent's in my basement, when he has one of his leader jerseys, was from that year because the first event was a run, swim, run that Brent won. And then that's where that shirt's from, was from that year. So that's one of my favorite years for lots of reasons.
That's cool. Well, I think going back to just the connection between the vision of having this dream or this idea and making it happen, I think because we've talked about it before, even in Orca swimming, you had this idea that you wanted to procure something that made people feel included, made them have fun, part of fitness and all this stuff, this experience, right? Same thing with your events. And CrossFit has just been this methodology that you've used to accomplish that in a way. Would you say that's true?
Yeah, I wouldn't say the events are the backbone of our business or anything. It's more this like creative outlet that you can sprinkle in the year, especially the classic and going multiple locations and stuff. It's a big undertaking, but it's kind of like a fun logistics expression and project. I think that's why I do it. And then, well, I do enjoy people enjoying what I present to them. So when you see people have a great time, pictures and fun, and they train harder and they become better friends, it tricks me into destroying my life for a few weeks. But yeah, I'm well aware I didn't make up swimming. I didn't make up swim clubs. I didn't make up CrossFit. I didn't make up CrossFit affiliation or gyms. But you can have your own spin on what those things are. The cool thing about what Dave did was he pretty much made it up from the start. And then people like me or whoever have their own interpretations of it. And Greg with CrossFit too, even though he took things from other sports to build what CrossFit is, but definitely changed the world in some ways with fitness and how people do things. But yeah, I just love seeing those kind of stories. Not that I could ever make something up like that, but you can still do your own version of it.
That's exactly what you said. Yeah. You've created your own version of it that's unique and that is a positive and it's successful compared to other people doing their versions and spins of it. You know what I mean? And so that's what I think is really cool is that you take the methodology, you've put in your spin on it, and you're delivering this experience at your gym that is successful and people love it. And you're creating a positive environment and all this stuff, which I think is it's like a win-win situation. It's really cool.
Yeah, no, it's been good. So that was definitely I don't think it was even a bucket list because I didn't think it was really possible to go check that out.
Yeah. It's like an unexpected surprise.
And there's plenty of questions I would like to ask him. He was just pressed for time. But I would like to ask him, do you have any advice on how to get thick skin? But he was a Navy SEAL, so I'm sure that had something to do with it.
That's the same question I asked my boss at the Toronto Air Show because she is a tough lady. And I'm like, man, I wish I could have tough skin like you. So we're in the same boat.
I'll just say, I think I'm sensitive where stupid little comments annoy me, but they don't actually change what I do. It's not like if I hear something that is stupid and annoys me, it's not like, oh yeah, I'm going to backpedal and bow to that demand. But it's still
I think I have the inevitable Canadian sorry aspect where if somebody were to come up to me and yell at me in my face over a decision I've made that I know is right, it would be really hard for me not to backtrack and be like, oh, I'm sorry you're upset. That's the part I have to work on, is making a decision knowing it's right and then not backing down when people are upset or not happy with it. But I haven't been in very many positions where I've had to make a decision like that, but it's definitely a skill I think I would love to learn. Okay, they're actually starting on Wednesday, which I didn't realize. So I just wanted to walk through a few of these things coming up. So here's what they've released so far. July 22nd, which is Wednesday, they're starting off with these 4 events, which will take place at the ranch. Any thoughts or anything that sticks out on these events that have been released so far?
No, I think it's intentionally being nostalgic, which is great. The only shame is that these outdoor workouts at the ranch, this is why they had to move it in like 08 to 09 to Carson, or one of the reasons, because it's literally just like ranch land, not like you would see in like Alberta or something. It kind of looks like kind of Kamloops-ish with hills and stuff. It's just like going to these farmland style neighborhoods where there's, big sections of land split up. So, but there's still like a municipality of some kind that controls the area. So you can't host these commercial type of events. I don't know if the zoning, sounds like zoning is the wrong term, but it's like that. Mm-hmm. So the shame is that I'm sure they can have the media and stuff there and the athletes there, but they can't have like a bunch of spectators watching. So that will take away from the spectacle a little bit for that first day. But I think the nostalgic for the 20th year is well worth it.
Yeah, and I think what you said, though, is maybe this is part of that athlete experience where, some of these kids, like Olivia Kerstetter, right, growing up watching, maybe she didn't see that 2007 one, but she definitely knows about it, and she hasn't gotten to experience that on the ranch, right? So it's almost providing this cool experience for these athletes that there's no crowds. It's just a throwdown with these top 40 men and women, 40 or 30? 30.
Yeah, it's cool. They were there in 2020, right? There's 5 athletes. Have you watched that? There's only 5 of them, and like Tia and Matt are pretty dominant on the 5. It was like stage 2 is the COVID year, but they did some pretty cool workouts because they only had to do 5 people. And Dave, actually, when I was there, he said that was a pretty fun year to program despite all the hurdles of COVID stuff. Because, again, like the logistics, when you only have 5 people, there's a lot you could do. So they did a lot of events that year too, including like a version of the 2007 hopper, but it was like heavy jerks or muscle ups. Did you watch? The documentary is pretty good.
Yeah, I'm definitely behind on my documentaries, but I think I need to start watching them. Yeah, I actually pulled up the DBE Danielle Brandon documentary today because a few people said it was good, just like understanding her story and stuff, but I just put it on when I was working, and it was good. So I need to watch a few more of them and kind of get more up to speed. So a few other things that have been announced at this time are they're doing triple unders. It's going to be a component. They are doing 20 events. So that's quite a lot of events to do, but like even this individual event 13 is 500 meter sprint. So I would assume there's going to be a few smaller ones kind of mixed in there just to spread it out a little bit.
Well, and they'll probably do like, I think you said like some ABC scores, like where they're 50 points. Technically a different event. Back in, I forget the year, 2009, 7, somewhere in there. They did like a softball throw as like an event.
Really?
Which I don't think really exercises or showcases fit people's fitness. It's like a skill. But a lot of things are, I guess. Maybe you could just do like one-off little skill tests like that where it doesn't like beat them up and like destroy people for 20 events, but you still kind of check a box. Like even if it was just like a 100-meter handstand walk race or something, they do 25 points, 50 points for that.
And they have announced that the pool is coming back, so some water racing. I don't know why I said water racing when I'm a swimmer, some swimming. But when he posted it, he said, comment below on what you think it's going to be, what that workout is. And so I think I said something like 100-meter swim, 15 burpees or something like that. And then 5 rounds is what I said it was going to be. But do you have any guesses on that swim workout?
Well, if they're continuing the nostalgic team, I don't know how fully nostalgic they're going to go. And I think at the Morgan Hill Aquatic Center, which I think I might have coached at once a couple of years ago.
That was my question, is if the water event swimming was going to be, like if you're going to be able to go see it, if it's at the pool, but if it's accessible to the public or not.
That'd be sweet. If it is, we gotta go.
I know, that would be cool.
I think it might be on. It might be on a Thursday. I bet, just because for scheduling and like, cause San Jose's kind of far from the ranch for like a drive.
But then sometimes they've done track events at nighttime. Like, remember in Texas, they did it like Friday night or Saturday night or something like that.
But that was still like walkable from the other venue. This is like an hour and 20-minute drive. I don't know. The pool workout in 2013, which I love this workout. I'm like, I would dominate this. Well, as swimmers, any swimmer can dominate this. 25-yard swim. They had a pull-up bar deck, 3-bar muscle ups, 25-yard swim, 10 rounds. That's it.
Yeah, that's not too bad at all. You said that there was an event in Calgary that had swimming, and you wanted to sign up with it just to do the swimming part, the swimming workout in a CrossFit.
Yeah, Pyromania.
Yeah, pyro.
Well, even though I haven't swam since like 2012, it's still like riding a bike. Like, you always have that advantage over non-swimmers. Yeah.
To do a 25, I feel like I could hop in and knock out like a 13-second 25.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I could still sprint, but I'm way thicker than I was. I would like cramp up.
Yeah. The other thing I'm excited about with this is however many previous workouts they're going to bring back is just seeing the evolution of the time and the athlete's fitness level over time, and being able to pull up like that workout from the 2007 Hopper and then seeing where the times are going to be this year and just seeing how it's evolved over 20 years.
Yeah.
Which will be cool. So wait, why are they calling it 20 years when it was 2007?
Well, it's the 20th year. It's not the 20th anniversary. It's the 20th games, right?
Oh, I see. Gotcha.
Because 2027 would be the 21st games, but it's the 20th anniversary.
I gotcha. Is there any names that you're really curious about or going to be looking at for this games this year? We're looking at Roman Krennikov, Jeff Adler, Dallin Pepper, Jason Hopper, Justin Medeiros, who just got engaged the other day. I don't know if you saw that, to his girlfriend.
I don't really follow any of the athletes, actually. As long as they're good people, I'd like to see them all do well. But I don't follow them on Instagram just because I don't feel like I learn anything from them. They just like post about their grips and stuff.
Yeah.
You're just kind of like selling stuff all the time.
Some sponsor engagement
and
for sure.
I don't really follow anyone famous on Instagram in general. Other Brent, I guess.
Yeah.
Know.
But he's a friend of yours, so that's different.
Yeah. I just feel like famous style athletes and people are just selling stuff that aren't really giving any real value. But power to them. I just don't care to have that in my feed.
Yeah. Ricky Garrard was really looking for that podium finish last year, first place. So I feel like he's going to come back with kind of a vengeance. I really love, what's his name? Connor? What's his name? Pig
Colton?
Farmer. Colton Mertens, sorry.
Mertens, yeah.
I'm really excited to see him because he's a good guy. And then the girls' side, a lot of names we've seen before, but Emma Lawson, Alex Gazan, Haley Adams, I think she's doing really great. Danielle Brandon is back, but she's just such like call it edgy, but she just is so different from all the other athletes that I just like seeing her.
I don't know if she's nice,
go down.
Though.
She's so strong. Yeah.
Yeah, no, she's awesome. But
I don't know.
Nice?
I've never met her, so I don't know if she's nice, but she does. She does have that edge that I think a lot of other athletes don't have. That kind of like, badass, do whatever you want kind of thing. Ariel Lowen is back, which is great. There was a few people in our gym who were saying that Tia Claire was going to be back after 3 or 4 months, like postpartum. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know if she'll be back after that, but she's obviously a badass who's not on the roster this year. And then I really want to see Lydia Fish back because her family had those fish heads, and in a crowd of people seeing like these little Nemo fish heads cheering for somebody, like you could spot them from a mile away. So I feel like that's a really cool thing to, just a quirky thing in the sport, I guess, to see your family cheering for you with fish heads on.
Yeah. I just want to see good races and like dramatic finishes. Now that Brent's not in there, I don't really care. Canadians do well, and then
Pat, I guess, Pat Vellner, it'll be great to see him.
If there's any people that have a swimming background, I usually cheer for them. But I usually just like seeing how the events go and like just like how it unfolds is why I like it. I don't really care. I'm not like really a fan of any of them. But
well, you have the lens of you want to see if there's a really exceptional experience, you're like, that's sick. I want to know how to capture that and recreate that. And,
And just in awe of how these guys are mutants. Oh,
mm-hmm.
to do some of that stuff that fast and that heavy, it's disgusting. So it's a spectacle to watch. I like watching that. It's so gross. It's like when you watch golf, people think, oh yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
1 out of 100 shots, maybe. They put it where they want it from like the trees. and so these guys too, oh, I could do that. No, you couldn't. You could maybe do like their last round,
Mm-hmm.
lighter weight, fresh, similar, maybe on your best day. And they've done 19 other events.
Right. That's true.
They're psycho. And yeah, it's cool.
The other part I think I'm excited about is just the group we have going. This is our largest group we've ever gone with. There's 12, so that'll be really fun. But the way I describe this event to people, if you're even remotely into CrossFit a little bit or have drank the Kool-Aid or you just really like your community of people, we've had nothing but great experiences. And the swag you come home with is just bags and bags full of swag. So I feel it's really the Olympics of the CrossFit world, where if you like it even a little bit, you can go there and have a really good time because it's just all the people that you like and all the things that you like are all right there. So it's really cool. Really good brand engagement, vendors and stuff like that. We went to the RAD event last year, and then 2 of us won pairs of shoes. Like there's just really cool things for the athlete, and just as an experienced spectator makes it super fun. So yeah, we've been back. This will be our 3rd year, and I think it's just a really fun event to go to in terms of guest experience, rather than just the people working out. There's so much else to enjoy, which I think I'm really looking forward to. So,
and it's really not that expensive. Like the tickets or whatever, I paid more for that for one football game easily. And but you get like 3 full days of comp, and it's like a festival / business.
It is like a festival. Yeah.
Because I don't know why I didn't ever go before. Madison was hard to get to.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason I went in 2024 would be like, Brent's going to retire soon. I want to see him once. That's why I went.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this is sick. Well, it would have been a wicked weekend. It was just so solemn. Last year's Albany was weird to get to. It was so sick. So this should be the best one yet.
Yeah, it should be. I'm looking forward to it. We'll land on Thursday, be there for the weekend. And then the plan is to do kind of a recap. Hopefully we'll remember some of the things that stuck out or just stuff we want to talk about. And then the goal is to do I know you will because you got a great memory. I don't though. So you're going to have to remind me. I'm
behind on my emails, but did you just get that one I sent you about the event 9 last year?
Yes, I did.
A clip. Like when we were sitting up there and for event 9. Because they kind of scaled back the workouts a little bit, like in terms of the spectacle of it, just for obvious reasons. But the event 9 I wish that was event 10 because Jason made it more exciting because he fell. But like the dash and chaos of that workout and the flying too close to the sun was so cool. And I remember sitting up there watching. I was like, "Wow, that was wild." And I have a video of it. I'll pull it up quick.
I mean, in CrossFit, in that stadium, you could feel the energy like start to rise, and everybody's like getting on their feet, and it's like, whoa! So that's what makes it fun.
So this is where we're sitting. The vantage point was nuts. And then Jason falls there, or he stops, falls, drops, and it just like it was a wild finish with all the leaderboard shuffle. And I remember, that was sick. Like a few minutes later, like I think I could do that like for a team thing. That'd be a cool event to end on. And then that's what I did this year, and it was borderline as chaotic, actually, with all these like close finishes and stuff. So the vantage point from looking that way was very similar if you look at my grid layout on how we went. I don't have all the barbell spots, but yeah, it was sweet.
That's sweet. I was going to say, just because after watching that video, I remembered the one thing I didn't love about the games is how they announced the leaderboard finishes. It's like the last event ends, the leaderboard goes down, everybody's just kind of talking, being like, who do you think, what won? Nothing's uploaded. And then the announcer interview or whatever goes over to like one of the top finishers and they're like, so you've just got 3rd place in the CrossFit Games. And then how do you feel about that? And they're like, what? They don't even make it a big deal of like, and in 3rd place, I feel like it's just a little bit like it comes up so casually that if they popped up the leaderboard and everybody experienced it at the same time, it would be a little bit more of that dramatic effect rather than just doing this post interview when they haven't even really announced anything, So that was the one critique that I noticed. It was just low energy announcement of who won the CrossFit Games. So
Yeah, hopefully. Well, I think maybe it's because it was kind of mathematically you could kind of watch, and as long as Jason got a certain place, he was going to win that last one, and then Tia was mathematically locked anyway.
yeah, but not second and third. Those were
Yeah.
like up in the air. So with those,
true.
I feel like they could have just done a bit more of a better job on making it hype for all top three. So it wasn't so much of just like a given bet. But anyway, we'll see what they do.
I hope they do. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited. You're going to be posting probably on your account a little bit, and then we'll come back for a recap and we'll see how it went. Any other closing thoughts on the 20th anniversary of the games this year?
I don't think so. We'll see if I have any good ideas. If there's any good ideas, I'll steal it. Make it a team of 2 guy and girl workout if there's a great one. I'll do what I can.
Sounds good.
That'll be my goal. Out of the 20, can I make one of them a team of 2 guy girl pair workout for 2027 Classic? That'll be my goal going in.
Gotcha. All right. Well, sounds good. We'll see you on Thursday. And Iron Operations is out.
So is Kobe.
So is Kobe. Kobe looks like he's sleeping, but
He's trying to, but he doesn't like sleeping. He's like me.
he doesn't at all.
I mean, well, he eventually gets tired, but he loops around in circles all day.
Kobe.
Thanks for listening to this episode. This is Iron Operations, hosted by Amy Tipper and Kent Aitchison. Today's episode was edited and produced by the team at AT Design Studios. If you like the show, hit subscribe and come find us on Instagram at TCSC Kamloops. We'll catch you on the next one. Class dismissed.